Hi everyone, welcome to CEO Meets. My name is Pip Wilkins. I am the Chief Executive of the British Franchise Association, and I'm really delighted to be joined by one of our new supplier members today, Alex from Nimble. So Alex, starts off, talk to us a bit about you and what Nimble is and what it does.
Hi Pip, well thanks for having me today. Yes, I'm Alex Hathaway. I'm a co-owner of Nimble eLearning, and that's alongside the founder, Neil Hyde, and together, as the name suggests, we have a company that focuses on e-learning for companies. We essentially empower companies to provide online training to their teams easily. And the word easily is the key thing for us, because it used to be the preserve of large blue chip companies who had the resources and the funds to create e-learning for their training. We flipped that on its head. We've made it really accessible. It is e-learning for the people where everybody can use it, particularly obviously those who are looking to train, but it doesn't have to be just learning and development people. It could be trainers, operations people, health and safety, and anybody that might even be a subject matter expert around the business who just knows the way things are done, and the company would love for them to share that and pass it on to the others in the teams as well.
So obviously training and support has become much more prevalent now. It's something that people look for when they're going into business. How am I going to be developed? How does it work? I believe that you can bespoke your own courses and put them together. Is it a really simple process, like a drag and drop or a wizard that helps you? How do you put a course together?
Yeah, well, you took the words right out of my mouth in terms of drag and drop. I mean, it's a cloud-based system, so anybody who has access to the internet has access to Nimble, and we have a range of different products that work well together, or they can be bought individually. But in terms of creating the courses in the first place, the first one is Nimble Author. That is a system where you can literally jump on. There's ready-made templates, and start creating courses with your own words, obviously, but adding videos, links, PDFs with resources. If you have already existing training, say PowerPoints, you can copy and paste it in. If you have links that you want to go to, then you can start creating it very easily. And the main thing is that it is really easy to use. So even if you are the one that's tasked with creating the courses in your business, if somebody else wants some more courses as well, you can say, well, you can crack on yourself, you can have a go and work together, but it's very accessible and easy to use. If you don't have time to create your own courses, or you want some other supplementary courses, we have a library of ready-made courses. In our Nimble courses, they're all editable. You can rebadge them with your logo, with your colors, but they cover a range of compliance courses such as health and safety, personal safety, fire safety, GDPR, information security, or softer skills, team leadership, time management, customer service essentials. And you can then put those alongside your ready-made courses that you've created, and they'll look the same. So for your learners, for the employees, they'll receive courses that we've created and those that you've created yourself, but it'll be a seamless, consistent message.
It's very white labeled. It will look the same and it will be branded for that particular business.
That's right. Nimble fades into the background. We've made it so it's very easy to put your exact Pantone references, so the marketing team will be really happy. Pantone references and your logos, and consistent for you. The key thing about being able the opportunity for creating your own courses is the relevance. So it will be absolutely suited to your learners and what they want, because you've created it for them, and it will look totally within the company brand guidelines. I think the main thing with e-learning that is different from PowerPoint is the learning management system. So once you've created your courses, or you've bought the courses, you house them on our Nimble LMS, the learning management system, and from there you can load in the email addresses of your employees or the franchisees, whoever you want to go to, and then select the courses that you want allocated to each of those groups, and then they will receive an email which says they've been enrolled in these courses. They click on it, they have their own dashboard, They can see the courses that they're allocated to. They can go into it and they can start using the e-learning courses. Then back at the head office, who's been disseminating the courses, then you can see when people have opened the courses, how far they've progressed, whether they've passed or not, which means that when it's across a number of different groups, you're able to then focus on those that might not have completed it or finished it yet, and give a big tick to those who've got all the green lights and completed their area. I think the final thing for us, if I could say, is they are the products, but we also at Nimble really have our fourth product, which is our customer success team and our technical support, because we have a customer success manager that works alongside all of our customers. We have a team that ensure that everybody, you may know how to use the tool very easily, but you want to know how to use it, where to apply it, what are the benefits, where could you take it, and what are other customers doing. And we have hundreds of customers, and they themselves also have their own customers and thousands of learners. So we have a big repository of information that we can then draw best practice and apply to different situations for each of our customers to talk through how best to use it. And because we're an easy tool to use, over half of our customers are new to e-learning. So it's a great opportunity to kind of explain and go through and just fill in any gaps. Everybody's at a different level, and that's absolutely fine. And we just do our best to support along the way, because obviously the better our customers do, the better we do. And it's a wonderful, positive, virtuous circle.
And you've just touched on there some of the ways in which it would support the franchising industry as a whole. So from a franchisor perspective, if they've sent something out to their franchisees, a new training course that they need them all to be doing, you can see which ones have done it and which ones haven't. What are the other benefits of working with franchise businesses, specifically for the franchisor and then obviously for the franchisees?
So we have a growing number of franchise customers, and they all use Nimble with different applications across different sectors. But I think maybe some of the core fundamentals as to the benefits that franchises are finding from e-learning. First is it's an attractive proposition to recruit quality franchisees. So the franchisors are clearly wanting to recruit forward-thinking, energetic people who have the resources and a lot of capabilities, but they're looking for a franchise that is going to show them the way, show them the model, take them through step by step what they need to do and how they need to apply themselves to be a success and be a success for the franchise network. So being able to demonstrate a quality series of training that is not only good quality in terms of being interactive and interesting and using great videos, but also just accessible. There aren't certain times when you need to be available, for instance, with face-to-face. It's always available on your phone, your tablet, or your desktop. So this is where the franchisee can see that as maybe more attractive with one franchisor than another, because he can see the support and clear demonstration of different training that they can receive. I think for the other thing for franchisors is really, the whole setup of franchises, generally a head office with different regional offices around the country, and not just the country, could be international as well. And so logistically, having that kind of that training that applies to those different areas, and obviously consistency is key. Particularly right at the start, let's say the franchise operations manual that came up quite a lot at the BFA conference in terms of trying to get that right and engaging, but it's always evolving. E-learning is a real opportunity for that consistency. It will be the same for every single person around each region to receive it, but also it will be fully up to date, because as soon as things are printed, things change again. But with e-learning, you can then just update it, and the very next person that sees that will see the new updated version. They don't need to reapply, you don't have to resend, they will just see the new version. So it will always be up to date, particularly important when things happen quickly, like a pandemic, and you need to get information out quickly, or changing circumstances. So it's something where you can have that kind of control, but also it's auditable. So for the operations manual, you know if everybody's been through it,
Yeah.
you know if they've passed it, you can have an assessment at the end of it just to double check the knowledge, make sure that it's centered, which means that you can be confident of consistency for the brand and for the company and the operations. But it's also auditable for compliance. So if you know, as a business owner myself, you know, we need to feel like we have covered the basic training of compliance for health and safety, GDPR, information security, and you have that then as an auditable record that's at your fingertips whenever you need it, and you can just make sure that that's covered.
You've hit some of the fantastic buzzwords there in franchising, you know, standardization, making sure you've got consistency, making sure there's compliance within a network. These are all fantastic things. Are you seeing a real trend and an uplift in more online training? We know obviously COVID made us all go online. So has it been something that you're seeing a trend and you think that trend's going to continue?
Well, there was absolutely a trend before the pandemic to moving to online training, and certainly it was supercharged when the pandemic hit. And I'd say post fingers crossed post
COVID, yeah.
that it seems to be you know, something that's here to stay in terms of the preference for remote working and probably hybrid working, you know, the mix of working at home and at the office. And it does mean that you know, online solutions are absolutely a way of providing that flexibility and consistency as well. But I think the trend towards online training was happening before because of the convenience with it. You know, it's certainly cost saving. You don't need to pay for people to travel to a place. You don't need to hire a place. You don't need to heat a place. And also the flexibility where if some people couldn't make that face-to-face training, then what do? Do you then have to ask somebody else to then tell them that was there and then pass it on, and you lose the consistency? But it's not even on the day. It's then the opportunity for refresher training 3 months later, 6 months later. But I would say that we never want to say online training is the only solution. It absolutely fits very comfortably alongside face-to-face training. It can be a fantastic precursor to face-to-face training where, you know, one of our customers gets a lot of the basic information out as a pre-course online training to understand the theories, what they're going through, or the basics. So you can then have really good, meaningful conversations in person. And then, like I say, follow up 3, 6, 12 months later or annually with a refresher when you don't want to get everybody together again just to check their knowledge, but you can at least do that very quickly and easily with online. So it's definitely been a growing area.
Yeah, and I think on demand is kind of key now. You know, we expect to get things when we want them, and it's much nicer to be able to train in your own home, do it at your own time, your own pace, but still achieve the overall goals and make sure, as you said, that consistency of messages is really there. Alex, thanks for telling us about Nimble. I have one final question before you go. What would be a top tip? Someone's looking to invest in a franchise. What would be your top tip to them in entering the market?
Well, obviously everybody sees things through their own rose-tinted glasses, and mine is very much training. And as I mentioned before, I think it's a fundamental proposition that within franchising, that people are going to be looking at what training is provided to take them along their way. They've got the energy, they've got the enthusiasm, really like the brand of the company, really like what you're going to be doing and the opportunities that are with it. But obviously it's going to be a case of, can I do it? You know, what will I, you know, will I be steered in the right direction to do that? And if the training is solid, I would look for that within a franchise myself, in terms of the provision of great training that can then help grow the brand, grow the company and the network.
Fantastic. Alex, thank you so much for your time today. It was lovely to talk to you.